A big shout out and thank you to our featured sponsors. Get your home summer ready with Bleaches NC. Is your carpet looking tired or stubborn stains and odors lingering? Let Bleaches NC IICRC certified specialist use advanced technology to give your carpets and upholstery a fresh, sanitized look. Safe for your family and pets, they'll make your home feel like new. Mention the Nurtured Woman podcast for 15% off your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME or 984-514-7463 today. Looking to buy or sell your home in the Lake Norman area? Trust me, reach out to Kristen Dorninger. With years of local experience, Kristen makes the real estate process smooth and stress-free. Get personalized guidance whether you're buying your dream home or wanting to sell it for the best price. Call her today at 704-492-6573.
Welcome to The Nurtured Woman, a podcast bringing you conversations from a wide range of guests, from medical and wellness practitioners to wine and culinary experts, fashion leaders, and other trusted field insiders. Join me, Michele, your guide, as we delve into topics that inspire you. In this episode, we sit down with Elizabeth, the inspiring force behind Nina's Boutique. She's sharing the real story, how her business started, the unexpected twists along the way, and why evolution isn't just okay, it's necessary. We'll dive into what's working in marketing, the hottest trends for spring, a sneak peek at fall, and the realities of running a boutique in today's world. Most importantly, Elizabeth opens up about the challenges she's facing now and her hopes for the future. If you've ever doubted yourself, felt lost in the struggle, or just needed a reminder that success doesn't have to look like a straight line, this one's for you. Good morning, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us.
Excellent. Good morning.
The Nurtured Woman features stories of women who have reinvented their lives and built something new. Tell us the story of Nina's Boutique.
Thank you, Michele, for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you. This has definitely been an evolution. Nina's has really only been present for around 15 years. It is actually named after my daughter, Katerina, who we playfully nicknamed Nina. A little bit of a backstory. I was not always in the fashion industry. I started in the restaurant hospitality industry many years ago.
What skills did you bring that were useful here?
So remembering people's names, knowing their stories. When you work in a restaurant that was local, you would know them. How's the dog? How's the wife? How's kids? And that is something that I do every day here at Nina's.
Very warm and customer facing.
It is very community driven. We know our clients. We know how they like their clothing to fit, what they're looking for. Even if they don't know it themselves, sometimes you can almost read somebody's body language or just sense their emotional value that day and just work with that.
I love the warmth of the store. When I walked in, you immediately welcomed me. Amber was very sweet also.
Yes.
It's just a great feeling when you walk in. So different than walking into a big box store.
Sure.
I love the customer-facing experience.
Thank you. So Nina's began as a jewelry store in Detroit, Michigan. And my husband and I, we moved from Florida to Michigan to start a new life together. That was nearly 30 years ago. And then jewelry was the hottest thing, accessory driven. We didn't have a lot of competition from department stores, like a Charming Charlie's type superstore of accessories. We focused mostly on handmade sterling silver and amber and unique pieces with a nice mix of Swarovski crystal and costume pieces. Affordable, but also elevated. And then we would have as many as 9 locations and as little as 1. And that would be seasonally. It would ebb and flow.
So you had more stores that you were managing.
Yes.
That's a heck of a job.
Yes. I also did not have 3 kids then. It was easier, obviously. In around 2000, and the economy was not great. And we had purchased what we thought would be our forever home. And it turned out that it could not be our forever home because we just could not function how we needed to function there. So then we said, you know what? We have to move. Let's move. Let's reinvent. Maybe it's that we can't just sell jewelry. And I always had a thing for fashion. If I went to work, somebody would say, Elizabeth, that's so cute. I was always happy to share where I got my pieces.
Tell me how that affected you, having to pivot your business. You must
So,
have been filled with, how am I going to do this?
right. So in the beginning, it was really, really terrifying. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there was times I said, we can't do this. This is not what I know. This is not what I'm comfortable with. Self-doubt is your worst enemy. And as women, thankfully, we're strong and we typically shake that off quicker. No offense, men, but I mean, we're born to be multitaskers. Very quickly, I decided, you know what? Instead of me sending people everywhere else to find very cute pieces that are going to look good with the accessories that I sell, I decided, you know what? Let me buy pieces and let's see how it goes. And honestly, we did not just jump into a $10,000 a month rent in a space. You got to take baby steps. It's great to take a leap of faith, but also I feel like you need to make sure that's not something that will end your whole existence financially because you're taking this leap of faith.
What did you get first?
So we didn't have a storefront at the time. We still had one little jewelry cart. We had relocated to Nashville, Tennessee, and we reopened the Opry Mills Mall that had previously flooded. So we decided that reopening is going to be like a grand opening. So it's going to be a lot of people in a small amount of time. So that's good for us. Give me a lot of people. So we opened up our little jewelry cart and it was phenomenal. We were so pleased. We now had 3 children under 3. So things were progressing in the family. We realized quickly that we needed to make more money now that we had a family of 5.
5.
And it happened very quickly. Had a child in 2009, had one in 2010, had one in 2012. There you have it.
Like, you have 3 kids, you have this brand new business.
Yes.
What are we going to do now?
Exactly. And we had just relocated. So people in Nashville like fashion, and that was evident. So we decided to open up a cute booth at a once a month Nashville flea market. And it was incredible. And the first couple months, all we sold was jewelry. And I said, you know what? Next month, I am going to buy a few things and we're just going to, okay, do I know what I'm doing? Do I not know what I'm doing? Who knows, right? I placed an order online from a company that I was purchasing their clothing at other stores anyways, and I felt comfortable with them. And I spent my tax return, which was like $2,700. And I was ill. I was sick for days after I hit that place order button.
I'm sure that $2,700 would have come in really handy.
It was absolutely, when I use the word terrifying, I may have used it earlier, it was terrifying. And I said, oh my God.
What made it terrifying?
Because it was so much money. Like $2,700 worth of accessories is like boxes and boxes and boxes of accessories. $2,700 worth of clothing is 2 boxes. Like, that's it. Like, the clothing margins aren't good to begin with. And so you're purchasing, your out of pocket is so much. And you're like, gosh, what if I picked all the stuff everybody doesn't want? What if I didn't pick anything anybody wants? What if we roll into the flea market next month and they look at me like I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? And, you know, that's terrifying.
But you didn't give into the self-doubt.
I did not. I did not. And you know what? Just the opposite happened. We rolled in with that initial order. I had one little rack and my accessories, and we had a record market, and I sold everything on that rack in a day and a half.
I love it. Tell me about how you started Nina's Boutique here in this area.
So fast forward to 2000 and don't know what year that was, but 8 years ago, we decided Nashville was not where we wanted to be, just ultimately for long term. We needed good schools. I needed water in my life, being from Florida and from Michigan. So Lake Norman, here we came. We moved here. We specifically moved to Cornelius because we thought this bubble of North Carolina is amazing. And we decided, you know what? Let's grow the business. So we went all out. We lived here for 2 years before I decided to make a commitment on a large lease, and that 2 years really gave me some time to figure out what this demographic wanted, because every single pocket is different. So be aware of that. Even if you live somewhere and you say to yourself, I'm going to open up a business and it's 30 minutes away, let's say, you may not think that demographic is different, but it is.
How do you figure that out?
You have to do your due diligence. You have to go and sit. My husband is a numbers guy. He will go and sit on a park bench or in a mall, let's say, or like a lifestyle center like a Birkdale Village, and he will spend hours, maybe 100 hours, just watching what people have in their hand. Where are they shopping? How many bags do they have?
Good
Are they only
strategy.
eating? Are they actually shopping for clothing or soft goods, as we say? And that's really important, because you may think, oh, I'm going to open up a soap business in XYZ anywhere, but I don't live there. You may, if you don't watch what's going on in that demographic, you're kind of handicapped because you don't have all the variables involved. And so we did that here, and we realized very quickly that people liked my taste, and because we were doing all of the Southern Women shows. So if any of your listeners have been here at long and all, they know the Southern Women shows. And we used to do 20 of them. They have since sold the company and they don't do them anymore. They were great. So we still do the Southern Christmas show, which most of your listeners, if they're anywhere near this area or in any of the tri-state area, they're going to know the Southern Christmas show.
Take me back to when you first opened at Nina's Boutique. What was the biggest surprise that you had when you first tried to get the word out about what you were doing, where you were, who you were?
We opened in the middle of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had all kinds of obstacles and hurdles. And
What did you do?
Yeah.
You don't have customers.
No, we had these systems in place. We had arrows on the floor, and we were disinfecting clothing after somebody tried it. It was a whole thing.
It was a crazy time.
It was a crazy time. But you know what our savior was?
What?
Social media.
How did you use it? What did you do?
So social media is where people go nowadays, especially then, because they had the time to do so. They had more time on their hands then than they have now. But because I was growing my business during that time, I had a much larger captive audience. I have been able to keep that captive audience for years now. And that's really what helped. Do your due diligence. Go to a workshop. If you are thinking about owning a business or opening a business, there are tons of resources for you. Look online, listen to the podcast, go to the workshops. Honestly, because I'm going to be 50 this year, I'm probably not the greatest age group demographic for the social media. Find yourself a 20-year-old. Find yourself a 30-year-old. They have it down pat because that's all they know.
That's right.
And when another business owner, especially in my age group or above, says, Elizabeth, how are you doing it? I'm asking a 24-year-old. Or I'm even asking my daughter, Nina, who's 14. She is so savvy. Use the resources that you have.
One of the things that struck me about Nina's Boutique, I went out and looked at the reels that you have for your store. Oh my gosh, they are so well done. They're so fun to watch.
Thank you.
They really have a vibe and an energy. And it's now made me want to come here and enjoy the different events that you host. Coming right back. Don't go away. Expert cleaning you can trust. Is your carpet looking tired? Stains that won't budge? Smell not so pleasant? We've got you covered. At Bleaches NC, our IICRC certified specialists use state-of-the-art cleaning technology to remove dirt, stains, smells, and allergens from your carpets and upholstery, leaving them fresh, sanitized, and looking their very best. We take pride in long-lasting results with a meticulous approach that's safe for your family and pets. Exclusive offer, mention the Nurtured Woman podcast,
and save 15% on your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME or 984-514-7463 to book your appointment today. That's Bleaches NC. Buying a home is a huge decision. That's why when my husband and I were searching for our house, we wanted someone we could trust to guide us through the process. That's exactly what we found in Kristen Dorninger. She was professional, easy to work with, and truly cared about finding the right home for us. She handled the negotiations, smoothed out the details, and made sure everything went off without a hitch. If you're looking for a realtor who's not just about the sale, but about you, Kristen is the one to call. Whether you're buying or selling, she's got your back. Call Kristen Dorninger at 704-928-6573. Agent with Southern Homes of the Carolinas. Welcome back to The Nurtured Woman. Now let's dive back into our conversation. Tell us about the events that you host each month here.
So we do a rather large event once a month. There's a couple months we don't, because in November we have the Southern Christmas Show, which takes all of our bandwidth for the whole month. Our next event is this Sunday. I'm not sure when this is going to go into the universe, but our event for May is already on the books, and that will be Mother's Day weekend. Events are where it's at. You want a lot of people in a little bit of time, and you want people to be talking about you, want to mingle. They want to come in. They want fun. We have a live DJ. I always have, always themed. With last year, we did a Golden Girls party. We had a pool out front that people could stick their feet in.
That's amazing. You even had one where there was a butler serving drinks.
Yes. So our glam gala, in fact, that butler is working from our couch outside right now. His wife is here. We had the best glam gala ever. We had a jazz saxophone quartet that my son Giuseppe is in. He has a...
I saw that too.
That's my son.
How old is he?
He's 15.
Oh my gosh. It was like they were a professional band.
He's been hired for a couple things. He's only 15 years old. So when we do it big, and we don't do it for the sales that day per se, because usually to put on an event, you're lucky if you break even. I'm interested in the residual sales. I'm interested in the girlfriends going to get their nails done and saying, oh, did you hear about the event that Nina's did last week? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I saw it on Instagram. I saw it on Facebook. They have the best giveaways. I need people to talk. And that is, grassroots is everything.
It looks like it's been very good for your business, though, because you're doing it every month. So
yes, it also allows us to turn over the inventory.
Sure.
You know, you don't want to walk in somewhere, especially in Cornelius. We have a lot of locals, and they're here once a week, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes they walk the dog every morning.
Obviously, it's not all been fun and games, right? There's a lot of work that goes into building boutique.
Yes.
Talk to us about the struggles, the challenges that you've had, and then how you came through it.
So 2 years ago, we had and for lack of a better word, a forced relocation from our previous location.
Okay.
And if you know, you know. And that was devastating. That adjective, I think, is accurate. We were going to buy a home. We had been here going on 6 years, and everything was okay. You know, this is where we want to stay. This is where we want to be. And then my previous landlord decided that an independent boutique was not what they wanted. And everybody assumes that I left because I couldn't afford the new rent schedule. And that was not the case. In fact, I was one of the very few business owners in the development that said, no problem. I'm doing well. Give me whatever space you want to give me. I do realize that my space needs to be a restaurant. I can play the game. I'm a team player. This is where I want to live and be. You know, this was happy with all the things. The people who made those decisions for my life and my livelihood had never even met me or stepped foot in my store. So that was a big challenge. We relocated to our beautiful new space, which is our forever home. We have a very long lease here. The challenge is that my rent doubled leaving and my sales went down $1,000 a day.
Because you were not in that same location.
Because I don't even have any foot traffic now. Like, Lord bless downtown Cornelius, but we've really not developed enough to be somewhere where we're like parking and walking, parking and walking.
Sure.
And my business model, because I need the turnover to keep it fresh, I need the people. There has to be people. And this may look great, like, oh, I'm going to open up a clothing store. The margins aren't good. They're not great. So you have to make that up somehow. You either have to have a really good rent, or you have to keep your payroll super low, or you have to
Something has to give.
Yeah, or you have to do all of those things. And now, so here I am 2 years later, and I'm still struggling.
I am so sorry to hear that.
And so this is where we are. And this is great that we're able to talk about it now.
Yeah.
And great that Michele came and said, hey, tell me about the good and tell me about the bad.
Yep. It's all a part of our struggles.
Yeah.
And we come back around.
We do.
This is life, right?
And
Life
honestly,
throws us sometimes.
This space is so healthy. It's so emotionally beautiful in here.
Sure
When
is.
people walk in,
It
they
feels
feel
good.
great about themselves. And, honestly, I am so invested in this community. I love when somebody comes in. They don't have to come in to shop. Grab a bottle of water. Go sit out on the patio. You can work. She's on our Wi-Fi right now. We're working from here. Go to Cool Fish or Harris
There's
Teeter
so
and grab
many
some
wonderful-
takeout.
So many wonderful restaurants.
Yeah, we want that. So
We want to come to Antiquity.
Yes,
Come visit Antiquity.
you don't have to shop. I mean, when I say that, I truly, truly say that. Like, come in, say hello. Get back to that community-driven where I'm like a coffee house, but not a coffee house, where you want to stop and say hi. I would love that.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to do everything we can to get the word out. Nina's is a beautiful store. I love all of the colors, the vibrancy here. I'd like to now pivot and talk about fashion trends. What are we seeing for spring? Shoes, jewelry, dresses,
All
blouses.
the things.
What do we got?
So something to know is that I go to anywhere from 6 to 10 markets a year. I take the time out of my schedule to figure out how to make that happen. And I do that to make certain that I'm seeing, I am touching. I have a little bit of a sensory disorder, so fabrics for me are a really, really big deal. And I have a lot of clients that it's a big deal for them as well. They will come in and say, wow, Elizabeth, this feels good. I can't know that if I don't go to the sources of that fabric. So that's one thing to note. Because I do that, the store looks fresh. It looks fresh, and it really doesn't look like anybody else's store. I love all of my boutiques in this area. We are all together. We are collabing nonstop. If I don't have something, I'm sending you somewhere else, and they are doing the same. We have no weird competing against each other.
You're
That's
sisters.
We're all sisterhoods because we're all in it. This year, the biggest thing that I saw for spring summer transition was color. We always have a lot of color.
What colors?
So we saw a lot of lime, like tons of lime green. I mean, if you look around, Michele, you can see like we just did an entire floor reset for spring. We're seeing luxe looking fabrics, but they're affordable. If anybody tells you can't wear white jeans year round, you can. I love a good white
What do
jean
you
moment.
put with white jeans? What do you put with?
Literally anything. People think that like a white jean, oh, I can't do a white jean. We have denim for every single shape. We probably have the most denim out of anyone in the area.
So in the spring, should I be putting colors with my white?
Yes.
And then in the fall and winter, I should be putting the deeper colors
Yes.
with my white. I can still wear my
Yes.
white.
Yes.
I love it.
So when you transition to fall, it's always great to be, oh, I love the fit of these white jeans, but I'm going to put a little burgundy sweater and some booties. There you go. So spring, summer has been super fun for merchandising.
Very pattern, lots of patterns.
Like
I'm
lots
seeing.
of patterns. I'm not afraid of color. I'm not afraid of patterns.
I like the iridescent too, the gold. that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I feel like in our area specifically, people go on vacation or they live on the lake. And so every day is a vacation. So there's tons of clients that they just want to dress what makes them happy. And I feel like when we come out of the winter stretch, people are looking for more of a dopamine dressing feel. And I'd like to add the beauty of the trade shows that I used to do, like the retail shows, like the Southern Women's Show, for instance. I sold to 3 generations, sometimes 4, because that's who shops at those shows. It's a girls' weekend. It's a girls' day. And it was grandma and mom and daughter. And sometimes
So 50 plus can wear these vibrant colors.
50 plus can wear these vibrant colors. Yes. So there's things, my daughter was here this morning. She came right in. She was like, Mommy, I love this, 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 this. Those were not things that I'm going to wear. Clearly, she's 14. But my 76-year-old mother was in here with her and said, oh, honey, can I have this little top? I love it. Of course.
Talk to me about sizes.
So we do size inclusive. So extra small to 3X. Not in every label, of course, because not every label is going to actually build their brand based on a really large format of sizes. But if I can purchase it in a full run of sizes, I do. And the beauty of coming into a small business like myself is that you're going to get the concierge. You're going to get.
I love it.
I came in here to Onina's. I just had a baby 2 years ago. I'm still just trying to navigate this new me. And I went in there and you know what Elizabeth said to me? That looks horrible. Take that off and I will find you something else. Or that looks beautiful.
We sincerely need this.
We
need concierge service back.
We're
not getting it.
We
with
do.
Amazon and all of the online stores.
You're not getting
it. You're not getting that service. I know it's really early right now, but what hints are you seeing for fall trends?
So it's funny you say that. It's really not early because the market I just went to a couple weeks ago was all fall. Because we purchase or we look to purchase our next big season change typically sometimes as many as 12 months out. So I'm already seeing tons of very creamy neutrals this year. And I say that because a lot of the trends mimic the Pantone color of the year. So Pantone color of the year this year is Mocha Mousse. Like it has a name, they release it. Everybody in the fashion industry looks at it. If you're in the floral industry, you're going to see weddings that want mocha moussey flowers. And if you're in the design industry, you're seeing that translate to fabrics. It's what happens. It's not everybody's cup of tea because Pantone is not the end all be all, but it does drive what the big companies are going to put, like your bigger Anthropologie or your Free People or your Ann Taylor or the Ralph Lauren. You'll see that. So what I'm seeing is tons of neutrals, more so than the last few years. I think we're going to see more of the burgundies. I'm seeing more of the navy plum burgundy and maybe not so much olive. And olive has been a staple in fall for decades, I'm sure. I'm seeing more of the jade green.
Okay.
Like a deeper jewel tone green that you would put with a mocha pant or slack. When fall hits, it's leathers.
Are we still seeing the faux leather pants for next fall?
Yes, but different shapes of them.
So wider legs, skinnier legs?
Wider leg.
Wider leg.
Yep. So
all the way down.
All the way down. Yep.
Okay.
So,
so we're going to continue with those pant legs then. And high waist?
I
love the high
Listen,
waist.
I'm a mom of 3. I can't go back. I can't go back to 1995. There's clients that love a good high waist, and there's young girls that even love a good high waist because they're going thrift and they're buying like boys Levi's from 1990, and that's their jam. So it really just comes down to like shape and comfort.
So they'll be out. High-waisted and low-waisted will be out this spring and fall.
Oh, yeah. You're still going to have your high-waisted girlies and you're still going to have your low-waisted girlies.
At this point in the podcast, I asked my guests if they could share with us a bit of wisdom or advice that they have fallen back on in the past and that has helped them to be successful or at least to move through a difficult time. What would be your wisdom or advice?
Honestly, I think have a really, really good support system. Do not retreat. That's the worst thing. Talk. or just talk to the community around you. Go to a networking session, go to a function, go to a Facebook page that you see that's local in your area. And I just joined one that's Empty Nesters of Lake Norman.
Yes.
And I'm not quite an empty nester now, but it's happening.
I just went to an event yesterday, in fact, with a bunch of ladies. It's called the New Nest Social Club for Empty Nesters. That's all for today's episode of The Nurtured Woman. Thank you for joining us. Thanks also to Elizabeth from Nina's Boutique for opening up about her inspiring business journey. Be sure to stop by Nina's for a warm and welcoming shopping experience. Keep nurturing yourself and your aspirations. See you next time. A big thank you to our featured sponsor, Bleaches NC, your expert carpet and upholstery cleaning service. From stubborn stains to odors, they tackle it all with safe, effective solutions. Don't forget, mention the Nurtured Woman podcast for 15% off your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME today. Another thank you to Kristen Dorninger. Buying a home is a huge decision, and Kristen is the realtor you want by your side. Professional, trustworthy, and genuinely invested in finding the right home for you. Kristen handled all the details and made the process seamless for my family. Whether you're buying or selling, Kristen is here to guide you every step of the way. Call Kristen Dorninger at 704-928-6573, agent with Southern Homes of the Carolinas. Want to get your business in front of an engaged audience? Podcast ads boost brand awareness by 28%. That means more people remembering you. The Nurtured Woman podcast is the perfect place to share your message. We'll craft a custom ad and feature it in the middle of the show. Don't miss this chance to connect with our listeners in a meaningful way. Let's get your business heard. Reach out today to Michele Droll at mdroll@lknconnect.com.